Westfield, this is your nightmare.
Yes, Westfield. I just every month I hope.
Yeah, let's just
I hope
replay last
I hope
month's
and I pray.
podcast part. Let's just cut this out. We'll just replay last month's. Oh God, what's happening?
It's just the days on the market. It just will not stop. 81 days on the market is just unbelievable. It is unbelievable. But despite that, I mean, look at that. Look at the graph. I mean, year over year, for the most part, it's over in terms of average price. I mean, this month we did see a bit of a dip. You can see 2650 is the average rental price, which is down 5% month over month, but it's still up 2% year over year. So like, it's just, it kind of defies all logic, to be honest with you. But we've talked about it before. I think we've seen it here at Red Door. You've talked to a lot of investors. It's just, I think, stubborn landlords, right? Just kind of demanding that they get their number. And so it looks like they get it, but it looks like they pay the price in terms of vacancy. Yeah, which is costly. That is costly. I mean, you take your average rental price, $26.50, and times that by 80 days. That's going to cost you more than $6,000. Yeah. So be smart about it if you have a home in Westfield, so that you're not that person with a home on the market for 81 days. So anyway, active homes on the market. Thankfully, this did not follow suit of Fishers and Noblesville. There is a slight month over month change, 4%. That can easily be accounted for in terms of seasonality. But Fishers and Noblesville, we saw a 30% jump. So thankfully, we're not seeing that here, because that would be bad news for Fishers if we saw the same thing here. So, but going back yet again, 81 days on the market, crazy high. $1.13 as a price per square foot. Just mentioned real quickly, apartments and condos, 21 of those with an average price of $1,568, so $1,000 less, $1,100 less than single family homes. And then townhomes, there's 17 townhomes with just a little bit less, it's $2,400 a month in terms of average rental price, and the days on the market a lot more reasonable, 40. That's really kind of where it should be, in that 30 to 40 range. So that's more reasonable. And then jumping down the three graphs there on the bottom, again, always focus kind of more on the single family homes, because that's mostly what we deal with. Started off slow this year, but for the most part, it is maintaining a positive trend, and a positive trend year over year. So that is the good news. Despite the days on the market, somehow average rents are still up year over year. So that's great news for Fishers.
Yeah, that is. So here in Westfield, I met with an owner not that long ago, and I had to break the news to him. I don't know, I may have shared this on last month's podcast as well, but I met with him in person, and he was hoping he was going to achieve, it was just a townhome, just a standard townhome, nothing flashy about it. And I will never be the person that will lie or you information in order to sign you as a client. And there's a couple reasons, not only integrity, patting myself on the back again there, but also because it sets us both up for failure. Because I'm going to have you as a client. Yes. But you're going to have a long vacancy, and I'm going to have to explain that vacancy to you. So that's even more so the reason. But he was hoping to achieve like $3,200 a month in rent. And I had the professional duty to tell him, like, unfortunately, we've got condos right down the street. I just went through this, owner. That's not going to happen. You're going to be right at closer to 25. And that's shocking. Yeah, I know. Shocking for him to digest. And of course, he didn't sign on as a client. He probably went with one of our competitors that assured him he could get 3,200, and it's still on the market to this day. But So anyway, so you got to know what's going on. To Mike's earlier point, that's the reason for that story, is that you need to be working with somebody who's going to give you the information that you need on the front end to make a more educated decision. But when you're already under contract and you are dedicated to putting this property as a rental property, is making those price adjustments early on. Don't cost yourself $6,000 because you're stubborn to get $2,600 a month when the market's only calling for 23 or 22. So make the adjustment, stop the bleeding, and then ride out Westfield, because if you're in that market, this may look like something that you need to panic on, but you do not. There is so much going on in Westfield. I know, Mike, I know you read these numbers, but I know deep down you still love Westfield. I know that you do. I mean,
I have
Westfield,
5 houses in Westfield. I
yeah,
love
yeah,
Westfield. I love it.
yeah,
I mean, I love
exactly.
it.
Westfield's great. Go ahead.
The long term outlook for Westfield is so good. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
right now, 81 days on the market is terrible. Nobody wants 81 days on the market. That's awful. But to your point, pay attention, listen to your property manager, watch this podcast so you can be aware. You know, if you have a house with us, we're going to give you weekly updates, real-time updates of how many showings we're getting, how many clicks are we getting, so you can make these adjustments very, very quickly. We don't want to wait 2-3 weeks to make an adjustment. We like on it now. Like pay attention and make price reductions if you need to make price reductions. We're going to give you constant and almost immediate feedback as far as what we're experiencing. So pay attention, be reactive, and don't just sit on your hands and hopefully you're going to get that $3,200 or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and rest easy. You're going to see a lot more return and more than just monthly cash flow in the Westfield area over the macro idea of what's going on there. So just bear that in mind. All right. Yep. Sales data.
Okay. Boy, that was a big drop off there. My eyes just went directly to the bottom left there. Average sales price over time. It looks like July things just fell off. That is not great news. I got to be honest. Personally, I have to sell a house. We had a Airbnb, and one of the HOA, they changed the covenants and restrictions, and so I'm gonna have to put a house on the market in Westfield here over the next, actually this coming week on Thursdays when we're going to do it.
Fascinating, interesting. I love these insights, and so do our viewers. I know that they do. So
I'll share my experience with you, but I honestly am not looking forward to it. Bracing for impact kind of a thing. Yeah. So I'll let you know how it goes. And the timing is not ideal. I mean, I should have listed it 2 months ago. So school started, and we're seeing a little bit of a price decrease here. So anyway,
sorry, before you jump on, because HOA covenants are such a big discussion point that I have all the time. So just give me, without spending a bunch of time on this, I know that there's value here. So the HOA changed the covenants, and did you try to fight back at all? And just the fight was just going to be unsuccessful at some point?
Yeah, we definitely thought about it. So we contacted our attorney, and I mean, there's enough financial gain there to make it worth a bit of a fight. But from the advice of our attorney and several other people that we talked to, it was like, basically, you're going to just spend so much money on attorney's fees, and nobody could cite anything where there was a successful case of this. So it honestly just ended up probably not being worth the fight.
Gotcha.
So we say, hey, you know what, we'll cash our chips in and move somewhere else. So we definitely thought about it. We definitely thought about fighting it, but ultimately we just said it's not worth it.
So there you go. That's a perfect answer to a question I get all of the time. So if your HOA is deciding to change the covenants, that does not always mean that you're going to be grandfathered in. So prepare both sides, whether it's worth standing up and fighting the battle, or whether you need to make other adjustments. Like Mike said, I love the analogy there. Cash your chips in and put them elsewhere. Nice. Okay.
I will say, this one's a little bit different in the sense that we were running short-term rental there, Airbnb.
Yes.
And from what I have seen, and in this case as well, most of the time they will grandfather you in if you're a long-term rental. So you got to register with them and all that kind of stuff. But the short-term rentals, they gave us I don't know how many days it was, or they would honor all of our existing reservations. And then after that, it was a no-go. But I think most of the case, if you have a rental, most of the time, from what I've seen is if they change the bylaws, you will be grandfathered in. It's not guaranteed. Don't get me wrong. But for most part, what I have seen is that's kind of the common practice, is that if you have, kind of like they're doing in Fishers, basically, exactly like that. Like if you have something that's existing, okay, until you sell it, it can be a rental, but nothing new, and then whatever cap they have on it. But anyway, that's why I wanted to mention that we weren't grandfathered in because we were a short-term rental, so they divided them up in terms of categories. But the long-term ones were, and that's what I've seen as kind of the common practice.
Yeah, no, that's a very important distinction there. Yep.
So, all right, let's jump back into these numbers here. Days on the market, not too bad. 37 days on the market, although that is up, 20% month over month and 30% year over year. But still not bad at 37. Price per square foot, $196, which is up ever so slightly month over month and up 4% year over year. But then look at this, sales price down 6% month over month, and then 3% year over year. And gosh, the prices were just continuing to tick up. And then July just, I don't want to say fell off a cliff, but
Yeah.
kind of it did.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens in August, but that's definitely a concern to see, the sales price jump down like that. And then number of homes sold, 71, that's down 4% month over month, and then 20% year over year. So curious to see what happens here. And I can be a firsthand participant and explain my journey. We'll pick this up next month. We'll see if we have a house under contract next month when we do this podcast or not. I'll let you know. I'll tell you how many showings we have and all that good stuff.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. That'd be really cool.
Okay, so we kind of talked about the sales price over time, and then just bottom right, number of homes sold. Like, where is Westfield in terms of affordability? You're definitely in that like 250 to 350 is kind of the peak of the market, the meat of the market. So still relatively affordable, just a little bit more than Indianapolis and that kind of stuff. But that 250 to 300, that's where I would be aiming if I was looking at Westfield. I follow this market, so I know that there's really some good homes coming on the market. If you are interested in Westfield, in that 250 to 300, I mean, there's some really good homes in that like 285 to 315. There's definitely some homes in that price point. So still a great market. Again, long-term play, but still a wonderful market.